Hey guys, it's Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. Um, so this has been a video I've been trying to make for a while. Um, when we started the site, we really wanted to focus on helping the new horse player, helping the person who we see all the time in Discord. We see asking even just like the most like basic of questions, and you know, some of these topics we'll have separate videos on, but I kind of want to just start the real broad brush here on just getting started playing horses, right? Getting started in horse playing. Um, so I got a little PowerPoint here. We're gonna kind of uh, go through presentation mode here. If it decides to, there we go. So I'm getting started in horse playing here. Why you should play the horses, how to avoid some of its downsides. I quickly realized that my video is going to cover up our nice little logo, and we got our logo twice. So we got logoception here, but we're gonna get through it. So why should you play the horses? Well, first of all, like at least for me, the top reason that I like playing a horse is bet a little, win a lot. Right, your odds are generally much better than betting on sports, with exceptions. Obviously, things like parlays, futures, and stuff like that, you get good value on as well. We will talk a little bit more about sports betting as we kind of go along. You play against other players as opposed to the house. So you're betting. So it's just like poker, right? When you put money into the pools, you are betting against other people who are also putting money in the pools. You aren't betting against the house, right? So the house doesn't. There is no house with advantage. Now, granted, we're talking in generalities here. I'm sure someone's going to say about computer wagering and other stuff. Like we're talking in general, right? My money is put in the pool versus your money. There's action all the time. Now, in talking with some of our the rest of the On the Wrong Lead team, someone said this could probably go in both positives and negatives. There's always races going on. It could be like a Monday morning, and you can find something to bet on. But what's important about this is that almost any time of day you can find a race to bet on, which for somebody who is an action junkie can be a huge negative. But there's lots of opportunity for you to be able to explore and find your niche, find what you're good at. Maybe you're somebody who just understands UK racing and likes to play Saturday mornings. I don't know. That could be you. It's easy to bet via an app or from home in most states. Once again, and you'll find this a lot with horse racing. There's always exceptions. But in most states, you can use an ADW, which is Advanced Deposit Wagering account, to bet from home via a browser or an app on your phone. So it kind of just works like a bank account, right? It's an account you just upload some money to, and when you make your bets, it goes ahead and just withdraws from that account, and you bet through it. It's super easy. When I first started playing, I was actually shocked how easy it was to do. So it's definitely a positive there. And lastly, it's a great puzzle, right? So it's one of the fun things, right? Especially specifically handicapping, right? Trying to figure out who's going to win the race, or how, if you're a vertical player, who's going to finish first and second, that kind of thing. It's just fun to do. It's just a fun mental exercise. Caleb was just saying, like, I don't have anything to add except for just like betting on horses is fun. And like, yeah, handicapping, sitting down, going through a card, and even if you end up not betting anything on the card, like, it's a fun exercise to do. Now, downsides. And we're going to talk about each of these to greater length, I think, than we did the the positives. One, barrier to entry. There's lots of confusing terminology, products, and just, I'm going to say, hidden information. Now, I'm not saying that if you know what you're looking for, you can't find the information. The problem is that oftentimes you won't know how to find something, right? Sometimes it can very much feel like an insider's game. And data has a cost unless you use specific ADWs. And we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk about this a little bit more in another section. Takeout, right? The hold, the vig, it it's much higher than a lot of forms of gambling. And Mark said he didn't like me using this, but sports betting, DFS, hell, even penny slots on some cases are actually a lower takeout than some bets. And specifically, I'm looking at you, Parks. All right, with your 25% bullshit. And the inconsistencies across jurisdiction. You get issues with the stewards making weird decisions. The start times aren't like when you look at the industry as a whole. Like some of the decisions they make, some of the stuff it just does not make sense, right? It just kind of, I don't. It's just very inconsistent. But like I said, we'll talk about that as we go. So barrier to entry, right? And I'm gonna be completely honest. This is what really got us interested in doing our videos in the first place, right? This is the whole reason why we like to do videos. Like, yeah, like honestly, most of the reason we like to stream is just the bullshit. We like to bullshit. We like to have fun. We have a great time interacting with people. Talking and chat and that kind of stuff. But it's to learn, right? Because when you put multiple heads together, I feel like we all learn. So how do you get over this barrier to entry, right? Find and interact with horse players, right? Go on Twitter, join our Discord, and by our I mean the Reddit horse racing Discord. It's not our Discord, but they're great places to find horse players. People are super generous with their time. Like trust me, like if you message somebody on Twitter, and you're nice about it, most of the time, like you'll get a response, right? I've messaged and interacted with people like Jason Beam, PTF, Tommy Massis, like just different people. Like there's just a bunch of people on there who like would be more than happy to answer your questions. So just find people and ask questions, right? Ask questions, and just interact with as many horse players as you can. For a new player, important, find AEW where you get free data. The reason I say this is while starting out, for the most part, I'm assuming most people are going to start out and they're going to start betting small. And if you're putting in, I don't know, $50 on a Saturday or something, like, why are you going to take 10% of that bankroll to buy a form, right? To buy a DRF, the $3 to buy a Brisnet. No, figure out which data you like to use, and use that website. Make your required bets and get your data for free. I think when you're playing small, that is the best kind of use of your money. We'll kind of go through and talk a little bit more about that. Collect every sign-up bonus you can and take advantage of promos. Make sure, like, depending on the sites, I want to say there's probably like 5 or 6 major sites in each like place where you can get a sign-up bonus and you can get promotions. Like, make sure, like, I mean, this is like, especially when you are starting out, an extra $200 to learn to be able to like be okay losing that money that you haven't put in. Like, it's just like poker, right? Everyone would tell you when you're learning how to play poker, like, you're gonna lose a ton of buy-ins. Like, you're gonna lose money when you start off playing the horses. So it's best to absorb as much of that cost using bonuses and other things. And I want to say that the last part isn't really barrier to entry, but it's just, I guess, advice. When you start out, start slow and do not complicate your bets. All right. Try and stick with one bet per race, right? One win bet. Maybe you bet a double or a pick 3 if you're feeling brave, but don't get crazy, because what you're going to end up doing, and I think the best way to kind of approach it is you take these bets and eventually you learn to scale up, right? Or, maybe when you start playing pick 4s and pick 5s, like bigger tickets like that, you're going to be playing them multiple times, right? You're going to try and, hit a pick 4, pick 5 for 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, however much, you're comfortable playing. But you can only do that, and you can only afford to do that when you keep stuff simple. When you find, find a horse that you kind of want to key around, maybe find two races you want to key around. So it's important to start with a real, like with a small, narrow kind of vision and kind of go from there. Um, and much to everyone's chagrin, I'm going to say vertical wagering. I would stay away from exactas, trifectas, superfectas, single race wagers other than the win bet. You notice I didn't say place or show bets on here. Do not put money into those pools, with exception like maybe you like a 30 to 1 or something like that. But that's not, we're not going to complicate it. Win, double, pick threes, stick with those. And then you learn from that how to scale up and maybe add the pick four and pick five into your arsenal. But vertical wagering, higher takeout usually, and higher volatility. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the pick three and double at some places are higher and lower. Win bets can be crazy, and that's what kind of brings us to our next part: is takeout. Find low takeout tracks and wagers, right? So I put Sam Houston up here. We love playing Sam Houston. We're gonna do another Thursday. We're gonna keep playing Sam Houston on Thursday nights for the time being. Um, Doubles, pick threes, pick fours, pick five, pick six, all 12%. That is industry low. 12% is as low as you can go, right? But now look at the trifecta, 25%. Superfecta, 25%. You're paying over double the VIG on those wagers, right? You are going to bleed yourself dry. Find low takeout wagers. Find tracks that are low takeout. Now, once again, this is part of that hidden information part that we were talking about before. You have to look this information up. You have to find it. Some sites used to have a nice handy chart that would tell you the wager for every track. I find oftentimes it's real easy to kind of just go and if you go to the tracks website, you can find it. And if you can't find it, start asking people, figure it out. But I mean, even 18% is high, right? The win place show says 18%. That's probably about average. I want to say blended takeouts probably around 18%. But find out what bets are 15%, 16%, or lower. And those are the types of wagers that you should be focusing on. And then once you have some volume in you, once you're wagering in the thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars in the year, find a site where you can get a rebate. Depending on your state, once again, this is all state based, you can get, a big chunk of percentage of your play back because they just want you playing through their site. And then I will try and link. Mark actually did a video about rebates, so I'll try and link that up here. So maybe check it out and take a look. And if you need help, finding a site, like, again, ask any of us. Put a comment in the video. Look on Twitter. I'm sure someone can help you out. I will tell you right now. I think if I remember correctly, Naira Bets through Thoroughgraph's site will give you a little percentage back. It's probably like 2 or 3%. But yeah, like, find a rebate. Like, once you start putting money through, you're gonna have to start paying for data, but usually that'll be offset by the amount you get back in your rebate. And if you're wagering without a rebate, like I said, you're just leaving money on the table. So yeah, let's go on to kind of like the last thing I think I want to cover in here, which is inconsistencies across jurisdictions. Now, I'm going to suggest that you play one track or circuit to start. This is, like I said, brand new, haven't played. Find a track you want to play. Whether it's Gulfstream, whether it's, the New York tracks, whether it's the California tracks. Find a place that you are comfortable playing. And just focus there, because you'll start to learn the intricacies of how the track runs, or how the start times of the track. Because if you start going through different different jurisdictions just start jumping around, and you're gonna find stuff like, oh, this track plays 4 out of 5, but this one doesn't, or hey, like this track looks at the stewards look at something different here than they do there. California's got a different whip rule than they have in Florida, and it's just gonna drive you crazy, especially when you're starting out. Um, and you got to learn, talking about inconsistency, with things like the steward decisions. You got to learn what the tilt and the variance that'll occur when you eventually, get taken down for your biggest score ever, and you just never get over it. Especially because the weekly Zoom call you're on, it gets brought up all the time. How horse players get cheated. Yeah, I'm not bitter at all about that DQ. I'm not. But that's kind of all I had there to talk about our, kind of just that little intro, kind of how to get started. A couple of things that you're going to see some inconsistencies there. And yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll link a couple of videos here at the end, to check out. And we will talk to you guys later.